Welcome into another episode of the Turn Fantasy Golf Podcast. My name is Andrew Putters, and we got a great show for you. We're going to recap last week's stop at the TPC Summerlin and the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open. We're going to follow that up with who we like coming up this week in the CJ Cup. Very interesting. I'm excited about this tournament. Joe is too, and we can't wait to bring you the action.
Of all the games I used to play in my younger, wilder days, the game of clubs and tees had never crossed my mind. But after some discussion with my closest, dearest friends, I decided that I'd give it one good try. That was my first.
All right, Joe. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing real good. It is October the 12th. 2020. We're almost into Halloween. We're at week 6 of this fifth. I heard this last night while I was watching the playoff. Week 6 of a 50-week schedule.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We got a jam-packed one this year.
I know. So for folks listening, this is the Turn Fantasy Golf Podcast. My name is Andrew Putters. I'm here with my partner Joe Nicely from Rotoballer, head writer over there. Joe. Give us a little info about Rotoballer. What we got going on for the rest of this fall swing, buddy?
Yeah, man, we're pumping it out every week. No matter the tournament, we got you guys covered. We're going up through the Masters. It's at rotoballer.com. We got an awesome PGA premium package over there. Got course breakdowns, a research station with ownership projections, strokes gained stats, course history, awesome articles by our staff. Spencer does great betting advice over there for you guys that like to place a bet or two. So we hopefully you'll go check it out at rotoballer.com.
Rotoballer.com. There you go. So last week, did you have anything going on? Right now, my life is just crazy. I mean, 4 kids. There's tons of sports on TV, working all the time, pumping out content every week. So there will be no golf for me. Plus, it rained all weekend. So what's going on at the Nicely house?
Not much, man. Like you said, it was raining, so no golf for me. Kind of hung out with the family, watched the Tennessee debacle at Georgia on Saturday, and then got to watch some golf Saturday evening. It was out west, so got to check that out. And Sunday, watched some football and watched golf all the way till the end. Watched the playoff. Had some really good things going, man. Just not a huge week. Definitely a profitable one. A lot of plays we talked about, a lot of guys we talked about on here last week played really well. Matthew Wolf's a guy we loved, made it to the playoff. And it was a Marty party, baby, out in Vegas. The veteran, former winner, takes it down again, man. He was a magician. Got up and down from everywhere, hit one of the best bunker shots you'll ever see on Sunday. Made an unbelievable up and down on 17 on Sunday. But tons of credit to Martin Laird for holding off the young guys there in Matty Wolf and Austin Cook.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if it's a course where you hit driver basically on all the par 4s, Matty Wolf is going to be in there every week. It's from somebody you're going to want to roster going forward. Not a course where you're going to hit 3 woods and irons off the tee, like a Travelers or something like that. But in the future, any golf course where you're going to be hitting driver on all par 4s, he's got to be on your list. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I definitely agree, and looking forward to talking to him here in a minute for this week. I love him again. There's just so many courses where you can target him. Last week we knew he was going to take a ton of birdies. He checks that box. This week we're expecting it to be pretty tough from what we know. It's also going to play very long, and he checks both those boxes. So yeah, I think there's tons of different layouts where Matthew Wolf shoots to the top of the list, especially with the confidence he's playing with right now, man. I mean, he looks like he knows he's going to go out there and shoot a sub 65 round every time he tees it up.
Right. So this week, like you said, 23 under, which is a little bit lower than expected, which I think we're probably looking forward, man. Every week's going to be lower than we expected. I mean, these guys are just unbelievable. So 23 under, Austin Cook, Matt Wolf, Martin Laird. Martin Laird went with the birdie on the second playoff hole, 17, sliding it in the bottom left-hand corner. But shout out to back-to-back top fives from East Tennessee, Knoxville resident, Peter Malinotti. Just really one mediocre round. Other than that, he's right there. I mean, played great on Sunday. Saturday was a little bit iffy, but man, he is stroking that putter, as they say.
Yeah, he's rolling right now, man. I had him in several lineups. We talked about him on here that we felt comfortable going back to him, and I certainly did. My best lineup on FanDuel, I had Malnati in there with Wolf and Cantlay, and yeah, Saturday was just rough, man. He went backwards, and everybody else was making big moves. So that kind of derailed him, but he fought back Sunday. Had another great tournament, man. He's playing excellent golf, and he's one of those guys that we can, when he gets hot, we can try to kind of ride the hot hand with him because he can play really, really well in kind of streaky spurts, and he's definitely on one of those right now. Kind of a shame for him that this tournament's coming up on the schedule the next couple of weeks. He's not going to be playing.
Yeah, because he's always going to – I mean, I don't say always, but historically he's going to be in the mid to low sixes every week or mid to high sixes, at the best. So only being a one-time winner. But, yeah, my sleeper for the week, I said if he putted mediocre, he would have a chance to win the tournament. Daphne, he did not putt mediocre. He last time I looked, he lost about 2 strokes a day on the field putting. So did not do that, but still only missed the cut by 1 shot. So man, he hits the ball really good, really good. So Stallings, I watched him on Friday, missed the cut by a couple shots. Just really didn't the birdie holes, was there 6 holes possible you could be putting eagle out on this course, or 5, and then 1 really short one. They'd be close. But he really didn't capitalize on those holes, the drivable par 4, the reachable par 5s, or else he'd have made the cut too. But anyway, that's enough about this week. You got anything else you want to talk about, Summerlin?
Not much, man. Went kind of as expected. We got a lot of things right last week. Had some really good calls. Justin, I call him Justin Sue, but I've since learned it's Justin Suh. One of our guys last week at 6,200 with a top 10. So it was coming on strong. And James Hahn, another guy we really liked, with the top 5. So we got a lot of things right last week. Couple things wrong. Kind of hurt us, but other than that, man, we're continuing to roll. Let's get into the CJ Cup, man. Pick some more winners.
Well, one more thing before we get into the CJ Cup, I forgot. DeChambeau on Saturday, getting on the cameraman. Yeah. Did you see it?
I saw it. I think our buddy Chad actually tweeted that out. Yes. I think it's where I saw it.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it's typical Bryson, like we discussed on this show. I really respect what the dude's doing. Really respect his game, but not crazy about him personally. If that makes any sense, I enjoy rostering him in DFS, enjoy watching him play, I respect what he's doing, but he's not exactly my type of dude. And there was also some comments from Matthew Fitzpatrick about Bryson. I don't know if you saw those, but Matty Boy's not very happy with how far Bryson's hitting the ball and how he's choosing to play these courses. Kind of some sour grapes there, talking about the U.S. Open, and that there needs to be some changes with the equipment and with distance, and that distance isn't a skill, which I disagree with. I do believe it's a skill, and I think Bryson has worked very hard to improve in that area and to get where he is. So I totally disagree with Fitzpatrick on that. But yeah, man, if any of you guys get a chance, you might want to dive in and read those comments from Matty Fitz about Bryson. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. So this week, let's see here. Here we go. I'm trying to pull up my email. This week, CJ Cup. And this tournament is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Come and prop up Thrive Fantasy this season. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports app for player props, and they have eliminated the need to do countless hours of research because they're only asking you to do the top tier athletes in respective sport. In the PGA, you choose 5 out of 10 player props and build your lineup. Each prop has a fantasy point total associated with the over and under based on the likelihood to occur. The more points the selection is worth, the riskier it is. Rack up the most points and win your share of the prize pool today. And for PGA also, they do tournaments for Thursday only, Friday only, Saturday only, Sunday only. That way, if your guys miss the cut, it won't ruin your fantasy weekend. Thrive has also awarded over $1.4 million in prizes since launching the site up in 2018 and has a weekly guarantee prize pool for the NFL for $50,000. Use the promo code turn up. Use the promo code the turn when signing up today, and you will receive an instant 100% match up to $50 on your first deposit. Download Thrive Fantasy at the App Store or Play Store by visiting their website, www.thrivefantasy.com, and sign up to #PropUp today. So, CJ Cup, this is the most excited I've been for a PGA event in a long time, and I'll tell you why. This course is in the top 5 of my bucket list play courses. It actually ranks number 2 in my bucket list play. I've only played one on my bucket list, Torrey Pines, and that was number 3. This is number 2, and actually 2018 had a tee time on a Monday, the week before Thanksgiving. They called me 2 weeks before the tournament, the Monday before Thanksgiving, and said, "Sorry, sir, we're going to have to cancel your tee time because we're closing the golf course for 2 weeks to get ready for Tiger Phil for the match." And so, or I would have played it. I mean, I'm so excited about seeing this golf course. Like I said, it's in my top 5. So the CJ Cup started in 2017 in South Korea at 9 Bridges. Due to COVID, it's been moved to America. Like I said, Shadow Creek Golf Course in North Las Vegas, Nevada. Par 72, 75-60, $9.5 million prize pool. This tournament has, like I said, it's been around for 3 years already. JT's won it twice. Brooks has won it once. So we're not going to see – we have basically no course knowledge when it comes to people playing this. We have no data on that. However, a little bit about this course, owned by MGM Resorts. Like I said, host of the match, Tiger versus Phil in 18. We got to see a little bit of it there. Built in 1990, designed by Tom Fazio, who has designed he's probably the who's who of modern designers. Designed 6 and 8 at Pinehurst, designed the Virginian, which is really close to Knoxville. Probably the best. Pinehurst number 8 is probably the best, most rated, highest course he's designed. He also designed Quail Hollow over in Charlotte. So he designs golf courses that have challenging par 4s and possibly really even challenging par 5s normally. That's you're going to see on Tom Fazio design. So how excited are you about seeing Shadow Creek on TV for 4 days?
I'm pumped, man. I'm as excited about that as probably as the actual golf tournament. As you said, man, kind of a legendary course, kind of surrounded in mystery. It's not a course that we've got to see other than the match when you couldn't really tell much. But man, I'm really excited to see this golf course for 4 days and see how the best players in the world tackle it. Kind of always heard about how difficult it is. Dustin Johnson's got the course record there at 66. That's since the renovation. DJ shot a 66, and that's the course record, man. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy that 66 is the course record anywhere in this day and time when there's so many talented players out there that can go low. So we don't know if it's because there's not a lot of play out there, if it really is that difficult. We do know it's long. I'm going to card out over 7,500 yards this week. So, yeah, man, just super excited to see Shadow Creek. Super excited to see a lot of these guys that we hadn't seen since the U.S. Open. It's going to be a fun one, man.
Absolutely. And, you know, back talking about the course record 66, you know, could possibly be that we haven't seen a lot of volume from a lot of, you know, good players over the years. I'm sure if you're anybody about golf and especially in out west, you probably played this golf course a few times, but you're going to see lower than 66 there at some point this week, I'm sure. But yeah, so excited. It's kind of, I felt like it's been in that kind of like upper echelon of, like you said, keep secret golf courses.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it's just one of those things in the golf world that you have, you know. So let's just get right at it. Who you like this week, Joe? Who we on?
Lots of guys lock up at the top, man. We've had a couple of weeks, you know, over the last few months, we've had a couple of weeks where we absolutely hated the top end, and we've had some where we really loved it. This is one of those where I really love it. I would start with DJ, not only because we have very little to go on as far as any type of course history with anybody, but we do know at least DJ's seen it, played it well, holds the course record for whatever that's worth. But more than that, man, his recent form. He's won twice since the restart, 3 times if you want to count the Tour Championship. Been right there in both majors. Kind of backdoored one at the U.S. Open, but played well. And the big thing is how I'm kind of attacking this course this week. When I'm not really sure what to target because it's a new course, my kind of default thing is strokes gained tee to green and just good ball strikers. Then when you throw in the length of this course and that there's 4 par 5s out there that are true par 5s that you have to be long to reach into, I'm bumping up length. So it just kind of all screams DJ, man. He plays very tough courses well, always plays well in majors, plays well in the U.S. Open, which is something else I'm looking at this week. So, yeah, I'm starting with DJ, man. He's just been phenomenal. Bryson's not in this field. DJ's form is the best of anyone in here. Over the past 24 rounds, he leads this field in strokes gained total, tee to green, ball striking, and approach. And this is a pretty elite field. So I think you can look at Rahm. Definitely worth consideration. Also been playing well. Also sets up well for him. But, yeah, my first initial lean is towards DJ up there at the top.
Could not agree with you more. Plainly simple is that he's going to be comfortable out here. We know whenever he's comfortable, good things happen for him. You know, another point to that, you talking about comfort, or me talking about comfort, and you just mentioned DJ over Rahm in general, which you cannot believe Rahm's priced over him anyway. But I'm looking at anybody. I'm basically green lighting anybody from Arizona, California, Nevada. Anybody that lives in those 3 states, you know they played this golf course. You probably can't say that about guys from the East Coast. So those guys are going to be more comfortable just in general. I mean, that's just my thought going into it. Whether they like the course or not, I don't know. You know, what's weird is that not everybody that lives in Vegas plays here, and I wonder why. Who knows? There's unknown reasons why. You know, most of them are at TPC Las Vegas. I don't know if it's maybe the facilities over there. Who knows? And maybe this place just, frankly, just don't want, to an extent, don't want them out there. But I'm on DJ too at the top. Moving down from there, I mean, we really just don't know. JT, Rory. You know, I feel like we've had a few weeks in between now for a lot of these guys. So, because most of them took the time off after the Open, and a lot of them didn't play last week. So probably DJ, and then sliding down to Cantlay after that.
Yeah, I would. I'm going right back to Matthew Wolff, man. I think he sets up well for this course. We know that he's plenty long enough, one of the longest on tour, probably the longest player in this field since DeChambeau's on in there. Can't we put Cameron Champ up there too? But he's not only been bombing it, man. He's been striking his irons very well. Gained tons of strokes on approach last week. Scrambled beautifully at the Shriners. So man, he just has everything going right now. So Wolff is right there with DJ as my favorite up at the top. I would also throw Xander in there as well. Kind of one of those things you hit on. He's a California guy. And he also plays difficult golf courses very, very well, which is something I'm looking at this week. I don't think it's going to play like a major. I'm not saying that, but I'm kind of approaching this one how I would approach a U.S. Open or a PGA on a venue that these guys hadn't played in a long time. And Xander pops up for me, taking that into account just because he does play hard golf courses so well. So above 10, man, those three stand out to me from the others, Mighty Wolf, Xander, and DJ. But yeah, Cantlay you can look at. Really, really weird final round last week at the Shriners. Looked like he was right there in position, had the 54-hole co-lead, and just kind of a head-scratcher, man. And we've seen some of those rounds from him since the restart. He just, you thought last week he was going to break out of that funk, and maybe he has. He did play well, but that final round was just so surprising to me from him. So I don't mind going back to Cantlay. Hopefully he kind of jumped out of his funk last week, even though the final round was a disappointment. So yeah, man, I can see you going back to Cantlay, and we got Brooks coming back. What do you think about that, BK?
I'm off Brooks until he shows me something. I'm off Brooks till he shows me something. But we got confirmation. I'm going to go against the grain of what I already said 5 seconds ago as far as a West Coast guy. We got to think Finau's played there in gamble games back in the day.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I love Tony this week. My only concern, he was – I talked last week before we did this show and I was like, man, Tony was an absolute lock button play for me this week. Talking about the Shriners, and unfortunately tested positive for COVID. So that's my only reluctance with Tony. I absolutely love how he shapes up for any of these long courses with multiple par fives. We know he kills long par fours. So I love him. We have to think he's got some experience here. We've talked about, he and his brother kind of growing up, hustling out in Vegas a lot, playing big money games before anybody heard of him. So I'm sure that he's familiar with Shadow Creek. I would almost bet on it. But, yeah, man, love Tony this week. The only concern is that he's coming off the COVID thing.
Absolutely. Okay, so sliding on down, really the nines, 93 and up. Well, okay. You got a lot of talent in there. Morikawa, Finau, Berger, even Matsuyama. A lot of talent. Let's pass those guys up. I feel like you're going to, with you, you're probably going to stick with Berger and Finau in that range, so we can slide on past that. The eights. I feel like after you kind of talk about Scotty Scheffler, maybe an Oosthuizen, I don't really see much left in that range. It's not that these guys aren't good. I'm not saying that, but there is no way Fitzpatrick is going to be competitive at 8,900 in this field. What is going on there with that value?
You don't think he is on a 7,500-yard golf course with four long par fives. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I will touch on. I know we're in the eights, but I'll touch on Victor Hovland there at 9. My guy, willing to go back to him. We've talked about before. Anytime the golf course is long and difficult, we want to look at Hovland. That's the case again for me this week. And then, like you said, man, I'm just not crazy about this 8K range. Louis really jumps out to me. He's not long, but he's been in very good form, and we know he plays kind of major championship quality courses very, very well. Just going by his history in majors. But I do love the form. I love his ability to handle these tough golf courses. So he kind of stands out to me above the rest there in the 8 range. Scheffler, I was really excited about rostering him when he came back from the COVID thing, but he's just not been there yet. Hopefully he'll find something, but let us down a couple weeks in a row at Sanderson and last week. So, on paper, this makes a lot of sense for him as a good spot, but we just hadn't seen it yet, so hopefully he'll come around. But, yeah, man, Louis sticks out. Harris English kind of disappointed last week. This course is going to play very long for him. I want to toss out guys, just these tough veterans that can handle good, tough courses like Sergio and Jason Day, but I don't have any I don't have any confidence in those guys. And then it's more as you get down to the bottom with like Ricky, Paul Casey. Those are guys that, you know, I can understand if you wanted to go there, but me personally probably won't. I know you normally like those veterans, or any of them kind of catching your eye this week there in the
No,
draft?
I mean, I love playing Uzi. I love playing Garcia, Day, Answer. Answer's not really a vet, but I love playing those guys. And I just can't do it. Cannot do it. Casey too. I feel like Casey would be somebody that you're normally going to play. Or I mean, I say you. I mean, generally speaking, a person going to play.
Right.
But I'm sliding all the way down to Brendan Todd, man. Brendan Todd has been one of the most consistent players in the last probably 10 events. You know, going back. Tied 8th, tied 20th, tied 23rd. You get a top 20 out of Brendan Todd at 7,900, you got to like it.
Yeah. Brendan Todd, I've continually went against him. It's not that I dislike him, and I understand what his game is, and he's very good at his game, and that's hitting fairways and making a lot of putts. And over at Rotoballer, we have a premium Slack chat over there. And every week those guys are like, hey, Joe, what about Brendan Todd? Brendan Todd. And I'm always like, no, man, I can't get there with Todd. I can't get there. And so he just continues to play well. So as soon as I say I'm off Todd, he'll probably top 10 this week. But my only concern with him is A, the length, and B, he's just living on the putter, man. If you look at his strokes gained putting over the past, really this season, but especially the past couple of months, I mean, he's just been making everything that he looks at. That's not to say that it can't continue, but I do think the length will kind of put him in a disadvantage this week. So I feel you with Todd, very accurate player who should hit a lot of fairways and hit a lot of greens and hopefully make a lot of putts, but he's going to have to play really, really well from 200 yards out on his approaches because of his lack of distance. And he's going to have to make a ton of putts. So he can definitely play well, but the room for error isn't there with him like some of these other guys that have a lot of length off the tee. You got Justin Rose, Gary Woodland, kind of tried and true proven players there. But I'm really not interested in anyone until we get down to Neiman, man, at 75. He's one of these young ball strikers kind of in the Hovland mold that I like taking on these long, tough golf courses just because he's such a great ball striker. You got any thoughts on Neiman? I know you're not usually as big on him as I am, but what do you think about Joaquin this week?
I definitely I agree with you. I mean, let's just say right here, you got Casey, Todd, Rose, Woodland, Lowry, Neiman, right? Let's just say those names. Casey, Rose, Woodland, they have the resume, but the consistency has been awful over the last, say, 10 weeks. The biggest thing I have with Neiman, and this is not an issue with him really, it's just that he is just absolute horrific putter, but he's played well. So if he puts this decently, I mean, he hits the ball straight off the tee and long, and he's streaky with the putter. But there's times
and bent grass is his best surface, which is what we'll see this week at Shadow Creek is bent grass greens. And bent's been Neiman's best surface. When he does seem to put well occasionally, he's had his best luck on bent. So that's kind of another little check in his box this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely in Neiman over those guys, 3 guys ahead of him, Rose, Woodland, and Lowry, which is crazy to think. I mean, 2 years ago you said Rose is automatic here, and Woodland, just Woodland's length. But I don't know. You got to think with Woodland, man, new family. Young family, maybe his priorities have changed, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you got to think that I mean, it's not bad that my priorities have changed, but I got 4 now, and that's a game changer, buddy. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're not coming off a U.S. Open win last year either.
That's true. I'm gonna go there with this guy, but the course being so tough and the guy having so much dang talent. Could Bubba be a play this week at 73?
Man, it's really interesting that you said that. I looked at him. His ball striking numbers have kind of been insanely good. I'm always really reluctant about Bubba, except for a handful of courses that we've talked about on here that we know he likes. we have no idea if he likes Shadow Creek. We're kind of taking our chances on that. But his ball striking has been good, man. He's been hitting the ball really well. The putting has been absolutely horrible. One thing I will say about these greens, they're a little bit – I want to say they're a little bit Augusta-like. They're bent, got a lot of undulations, kind of big, slopey greens. So maybe it's something that will fit Bubba's eye. But yeah, man, with what's in the sevens this week, I can definitely see giving Bubba Watson a look with the way he's been playing tee to green lately.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% with the Augusta speak. I think that was they always kind of said it's the Augusta, West Coast Augusta. Hadn't that always kind of been like a saying that we've heard in the past?
Yeah, I wrote an article this week, and I've kind of seen different things around the industry and guys that have talked about Shadow Creek saying it. But if you guys get a chance, Google the aerial view of Shadow Creek, and it looks like that somebody just picked up a course that's in Georgia or in our area in East Tennessee or in the Carolinas and the Appalachians. It looks like somebody just picked up a whole golf course, took it across the country, and set it down right in the middle of the desert. So it really is crazy, man. It's like a course you'd find in the Southeast, out in Vegas. So yeah, man, I definitely think there's some kind of Masters Augusta National vibes there. You mentioned Fazio doing Quail Hollow, which is in Carolina. So I mean, there's probably a little bit of that as well. It's the type of place that I could maybe see Bubba going out there and kind of enjoying the vibe and playing well, especially with how he's been striking the ball.
Exactly. Yeah. I couldn't say any better than you just said it. So does that mean we're rostering Speed this week? The never Speed.
Hey man, if there's Augusta stuff going on, maybe we need to look at Jordan. I really like him. I'm pulling for him to turn things around, but I'm just not there until he shows us something. You got to feel him like he's kind of going to pop up one of these weeks for like a random top 5 or something. But I'm just not going to be there. If I miss that boat, I miss that boat. But I'm pulling for him. I want to see him improve. I think golf's better when he's playing well. But I just don't think he's there. I mean, I would almost rather go with a guy like Brian Harmon there right below him who's been playing really good golf, more of an accuracy player than a length player. But we know he can hit fairways, he can hit greens, and he's been making a ton of putts. And another guy that I talked about last week that I'm willing to go right back to at a reduced salary is Russell Henley. They're at the bottom of the 7Ks. Struck the ball really well again last week. I think he had a top 25 at the Shriners. Didn't putt well. Not the longest guy off the tee, but he's an excellent iron player, excellent scrambler. Plays tough courses very well. So Henley's definitely a guy that I'm going to go to often down here in this price range. You got any thoughts on Henley?
Yeah, I like Henley this week. Over the last 4 or 5 events, his approach numbers have been out of sight. Maybe just can't get 4 rounds together. I feel like you're going to be on all 3 of these guys in this range: Henley, Munoz, Kokrak. I feel like that's a pretty safe spot for Joe Nicely.
Yeah, that's my range this week, man. I'm telling you, I really like this range. It'll be a go-to for me. I'm thinking like, especially with this being a no-cut, which I'm not sure if we mentioned or not, but it's a no-cut event, only 78 players in the field. I'm going to be aggressive. So I'll be hitting this high 6, low 7 range and then going up top. I don't think I'll have much exposure at all to the mid 7s, mid 8Ks. I'll be going 9 and up and probably like from Henley down, maybe a little bit of Brian Harmon, maybe a little bit of Neiman. But yeah, man, that's a real sweet spot. I like Henley. I've been playing Siwoo. I like him more than a lot of other people do. But he's been playing well. I've been on Jason Kokrak a lot, and I like him again. Plays long, tough golf courses very well. We've seen it over the last few months. So I'm comfortable going right back to Kokrak. And another guy that I was on last week, I very rarely play, but I'm kind of feeling him right now. Just with how he's able to play these golf courses and his ball striking's been better than it's been. It's been consistent, and that's Cameron Smith from Australia. I like how he plays these difficult courses, and I like his irons right now. He's really spotty, but he's gained strokes on approach in every start over the past 6 weeks. So I think he's definitely a guy you can look at down here in this price range. Any of those guys stick out to you, or is that just me on Kokrak and Cameron Smith?
I'll tell you, man, I'm gonna be back on the talking about this range. My dark horse right here of the week is back in this range. He's a grinder that I hate to play. Matt Kuchar, man.
Don't do it to me, man.
I'm back on Matt. I'm back on Matt Kuchar for the first time in several years. Golly, I can't stand him.
Man, even his caddy won't play Matt Kuchar right now. His caddy left him. Long time caddy.
I mean, I would love Leishman. He puts Bent Green Services great, but man, he's played awful over the last 6 months. So,
what about a dude that just continues to surprise us? It seems like we only talk about him when he's playing in the Dominican or something. What about Mackenzie Hughes in this field? And you like him to make any noise?
I don't know. He played well the tour. He's played well. Golly, he's played real well. 4 out of the last 5 top 15s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It just seems like we continue to overlook him, which, like I said, we talked about him in the Dominican a few weeks ago at Corrales, and I think he had a runner-up. But he just continues to post these good results. The stats don't really pop. Nothing that says, hey, Mackenzie Hughes is going to have a great week, but he just continues to go out there and play well. So just want to throw his name out there. I think a guy like a Kokrak or Cam Smith is probably going to offer you a little more consistency, but we've seen Hughes pop for some good finishes, man. So wanted to toss his name out there. And another guy you like there, Ryan Palmer, I know you've been on him quite a bit. You looking at him any this week?
I don't hate him this week because he's going to grind no matter what the golf course throws at him. And, he's a Southern Cal guy, right? He's from Southern Cal, right? And he's from L.A.?
He's from Texas, Palmer.
Yeah, that's right.
He's Texas boy.
Yeah, you're right. He just plays well in Southern California.
Yeah. Kevin Na, he's a kind of a SoCal Vegas type of dude.
Yeah, he is. He's a member of TPC Vegas. He's a guy you feel like you're never going to get on. You're never going to roster him. Then all of a sudden he finishes second alone. You're like, what the heck happened?
I'm just never going to get him right.
Yeah. Champ and Steele in this. I'm all over those guys in this range. They bomb it. They're streaky putters. That's who I'm on in this range, right there.
Yeah, I mean it's the length, right? I mean anytime you can get cheap distance, especially with no cut, you feel like they're guys worth taking a swing at. I'm with you on Steele and Champ. Being worth it down here at this range with their length and their ability off the tee. Definitely like both those calls. Keegan Bradley's a good ball striker. We know he's a ridiculous dude with the putter. So you never know about Keegan. You can look at maybe a Lanto Griffin down here who always seems to outplay his price tag on most weeks. I think a lot of people probably look at Harry Higgs just because he's kind of been a popular dude here lately. He's got to do it with the putter in order to get anywhere. And I was looking at him today, and he's played much better on easier golf courses where the round average is much easier. Really struggles, it seems, on difficult courses. So while I love Harry Higgs, I don't know if I'll be getting there myself. And on down, man, there's just not much for me this week. Got a lot of exemptions, a lot of Koreans in the field this week who may be great players, but we've not seen these guys have much luck in the States against these fields. So I probably won't be going there myself farther down the board.
I agree with you. Who's your dark horse for the week, Joe, on the way out?
I don't know if you call him a dark horse. I would say you could pick several of those guys down there in that low 7K range. I would say Bubba is intriguing to me. Just if you look at his ball striking numbers, I hate playing him, and it never seems to work out very well for me with Bubba. But I think he's probably the most intriguing play down there. But my dark horse guy, who I think will really play pretty well this week, is Russell Henley. That's my guy this week. What about you, man? Who you like?
Like I said, I'm going to be on Kuchar, which nobody else. I feel like nobody else is going to be on. But Bubba is very interesting. Yeah, let's go with Bubba. Let's go with Bubba at 7,300. I mean, let's be honest. Mediocre and bad for him are, let's say, bad for him is mediocre for a lot of these guys on tour. Now, he plays bad a lot. And after listening to his No Laying Up interview, it's because it's never been a talent issue. It's never been overcome by the golf course. It's more of he just kind of loses concentration and quits trying for about 9 holes.
Yeah, and I feel like circling back around, not even necessarily an Augusta thing, but I feel like this golf course is so beautiful and so interesting just visually that it could kind of capture Bubba's attention. I could see him where this isn't kind of just a run-of-the-mill tour stop, somewhere he's played dozens of times, just not very crazy about. I could see him rolling out here and going out and playing a practice round and being like, man, I really love this place. And, there's so much going on and stuff that he might think is cool, kind of some similarities to Augusta with all the trees and the slopes and all that. So, yeah, man, I think I could see him shooting 65 or 75 Thursday and not be surprised either way. But I do think he's an interesting play. And when he plays well, he tends to play very well. Multiple PGA Tour winner, multiple major winner. So, yeah, man, I think Bubba's interesting down there, as several of those guys in the low 7s, high 6s are. I think that's a good range this week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, if you like what you heard, give us a like, subscribe on wherever you listen to us, watching us. It don't matter. Share with your friends. Go to Rotoballer. Check them out. Check out Joe's free stuff. Then if you like what you see there, go ahead and get the PJ Premium. They got a lot of good stuff in there. And that's all I got, man. That's all I got this week. Like I said, me and Joe are super excited about this event. Can't wait to watch it on TV. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on if you're a premium guy, hit us up on Slack. We'll answer any questions you got. Anyway, guys, that's all we got.
I've already hit 3 in the lake. It's gonna drive me. It's gonna